How are you, roadsters? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe. And I hope you had a nice week earlier. And it's the weekend again. Well, I've just set up a new chin mount on my helmet. As you can see, the view that you are viewing or you are seeing right now is of the new chin mount. And today's video is all about chin mount, and if you have any kind of helmet, this video will help you to mount a chin mount on your helmet. So please make sure you watch this whole video. So for making a chin mount on your helmet, you would require the basic things. That is your helmet, of course, a nail polisher or a nail filer. Then you would require an M seal. 10 rupees M seal will do, which you can get it from your nearest hardware store. Then you would require a pair of scissors, masking tape, a microfiber cloth, and a bottle of any non-toxic alcohol or perfume would do, just to remove the glue of the masking tape. And you would require a J mount. I prefer you use a J mount because it would give you a better lean angle on your camera from reverse or from backside and for the front view. So use a J mount. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one. So let's get started. So for creating your chin mount, first you need to see how your chin mount is on your helmet, or how your chin is on your helmet. If you have a curved chin part of your helmet like mine, you might able to adjust it a bit above or a bit below of your chin. But make sure you don't adjust it too low to your chin, because the viewing angle would be screwed up. And you would require a bit of more M seal if you have a curved chin part of your helmet, because it would be leaving gaps on the top and the bottom edges of your primary mount. So first of all, take a marking or just make a fine outline with a pencil on your helmet with your chin mount situated at the expected position that you want on your chin part of your helmet. And then just mark it with the pencil, so you have a brief idea that this is the position that you want your mount to be in. You can do the marking part before applying the masking tape, or even after applying the masking tape. I suggest you do it after applying the masking tape, because the glues can sometimes mess up your markings on your helmet. Now the thing that you need to take care of is that if you're having air vents in front of your chin or you're in front of your helmet, you need to mask your chin part also. If at all your primary mount or the mold that you are going to create is going to be situated on that air vents, because air vents would leave some air bubbles and even some indents in your molds. And if you don't mark it properly on your masking tape, then those indents won't come on your mold also, because it's not on your masking tape. For your mount to stick with your mold of M seal that you would be creating, you need to use your file or your nail filer, and use that nail filer to roughen up your primary mount from the back side on which you would be applying your M seal. So what that would do is, if you are having a polished surface, it would make it a bit rough, and it would make it easier for the mold to stick to your primary mounts of your camera. So I suggest you use a 10 rupees M seal, because you won't require much of its quantity, because your primary mount would be quite small, if I'm not wrong, because it comes in a universal size. So it's this much only. So use a 10 rupees M seal. Now when you open the M seal, you would find two slabs or two cubicle size of clay. Now one is a resin, one is a hardener. You need to mix both of them equally. If you're using it in parts, then you need to have two equal parts of it. In many of M seals, it would turn black in color once it's totally mixed with each other, and in some molds it would become white in color, so it's not an issue. Mine turned into black, so it mixed up with my color of the helmet in the front part of my helmet. So take equal parts of your molds and mix it quite well. I suggest you keep a bit of your hand a bit moist, or use a bit of water on your fingers while rolling your M seal. Now while you are rolling your M seal, don't roll too much, because it would start hardening immediately once both those ingredients are mixed into it. That is the harder and the resin. So quickly roll it up and start applying it on your primary mount. And now I suggest that if you have a mount or a primary mount which has gaps in between the braces or the brackets on which your secondary or your camera mount is going to be clipped into, then use a cutter and take out the excess part of your molds from those gaps, because if it hardens, it would not be able to come out of those gaps, and it would solidify, and even it might break your primary mount. So take a cutter, paper cutter, and slice it off, and use those excess part of your molds into the backside of your, or wherever edges, whichever edges has been left out in your primary mount. So start mixing it up, and start quickly applying it on your primary mount. Now once you've applied your masking tape and your mold is ready, so quickly apply the mold onto the pre-decided part of your masking tape. I suggest you use it a bit above your chin, that comes near to your lips, inside the helmet, so that is the precise point. And just see to it that it's not tilted towards left side or right side, and it should be precisely in the center. Use your, if you have a nose guard, use your nose guard as your center of point of your helmet. Now once you have applied your chin mount mold to the masking tape, I suggest that you leave it out for 2 hours to get it hardened, and if not, just leave it out for maximum of 30 minutes, but I suggest 2 hours, because it would completely harden, and you would have a very sturdy mold, and that way you will have even a stable video recording. So let me know in the comments below if you find this video quite stable with this new chin mount. So I also know that my mount is quite sturdy, and the location that I have selected is quite good. Now I would take the video further. I would meet you back home while I complete a small work that I'm out for, and get you then.
Many hours later.
Okay, so it's now been 24 hours that the mold has cured. I didn't get time yesterday to look at it once it was done, but I still figured that let it remain for 24 more hours, and it's totally hardened now. So this is exactly what we want from the M seal that we have attached to our mount. So because if this thing is not sturdy, and if you are going through a rough patch of road and your helmet is bit of vibrating, and if it is loose or it's just swivels too much, then this thing could come off, and you can get diverted by this thing falling off and can result in an accident. So you need this thing very sturdy. Now I was looking at it earlier before making this video, that how would it fit, and I figured that the square one leaves a lot of gap in the sides, like you can see right over here, it's leaving a lot of gaps on the edges. So I figured that the oval thing or the patch would work good. So the only thing you need to take care is that the mold that you have created, or the mold that you have hardened, should perfectly fit to the earlier position that you decided. So it should not be a bit of below or a bit of above from the previously decided location. So what you can do is you can take a pen and keep the mold on the exact position that you want it to be in, and just draw faded line around its edges. Well, I'm not doing that because I have a center line over here from my nose protection, which exactly falls in the line, as I told you earlier, of the center part of the helmet. But for your reference, I would let you know that the camera lens that needs to be correct in position of the center of the helmet. So the camera lens should be exactly in the center of the helmet. So if you want to take a reference, then this is the casing, the waterproof casing, because I'm using the camera. So if the lens falls into the center of your casing, or just take this as a reference. So as you can see, it should not be right over here, or somewhere over here. You don't take this as your center, or the center part of your cameras as a center. You take the lens as a center. So if it is going to fit over here, then you need to arrange your camera right over here. So this thing is also correct way to do it, or this way is also correct way to do it, but I'm doing it in this manner. So this would be the position of my camera, because you need to take care that once you wear your helmet, rather than you placing your helmet on the ground, so once you place your helmet on your head, and when you are driving it, your helmet won't be in this position. It would be a bit of this position, because you would be looking a bit down while driving. So always keep in mind that you don't attach your camera or your mount too below of the chin, or you don't attach your camera somewhere too high on the front face of your helmet, that it becomes difficult to close the lid. So let's just stick the mold to the helmet. I would be leaving a bit of gap in the edges once I stick the 3M tape, because I want it to be a bit of extended outside, and later on, if there is a lot of gap on the edges, I would fix more of the seal on the edges. So I'm using this thing, this kind of a tape, which is finished on the edges. So to remove the tape over here, I would leave the description in the link below for you can order this online. So stick it in a way that there is no air or no gap left on the edges, because the mold won't be always perfect. It would be having indents of your design of your helmet, like mine I have indents. So just stick it to those indents also, so there is no gap remaining on any of the edges of your mold of 3M that you are sticking to it. I would leave description for both kind of tapes, for this kind of also and for the roll tapes also. So the 3M glue is out. Keep in mind that you don't stick your fingers or any dust on this thing once it is open. So rather than playing around, just quickly place it onto the helmet. I would take one more reference again. So stuck the 3M tape. As you can see, the 3M tape perfectly fits it onto the molds, as you can see. Now if you want to better harden this thing, I advise you stick more tracing papers or more of sellotapes around your helmet or this mount, so that it firmly attaches to the helmet. But pressing it good enough for 5-10 seconds, it would seal the mold to the helmet. So that should do it. That's how you make your mold, and just see to it it's perfectly in line again, I would say. And just see to it it's not tilted this side or this side, but perfectly in center. Doesn't matter if you want to use this thing totally 180 degrees either side, but don't make it 45, 30 or any odd kind of numbers in degree wise, because your camera angle would be screwed up. So this is either you make it straight, or either you make it horizontal or vertical, as you want it. And just one more little bit of tip, that in many cameras and in many camera packages, there are mounts that are limited. So I prefer that you buy more mounts from any of the website that you feel free, or if you are having a helmet that has too many indents or too many graphics or too many of designer front parts or rear parts, wherever you want to fix your camera, and at that position there are lot of designs. then I advise you to get a J mount. And after a J mount you can get a standing kind of fan mount, or any kind of a rotating mount. So once you affix it to your primary mount, you can twist your camera angle. There are lots of mounts that are available that can be extended from the top towards your front, that is called as a C mount. So if you're affixing it over here, then there would be a stick coming out like here, a mount coming out like here, and your camera would be over here. So those if you are interested in those kind of mounts, that is also good, but stick to your own necessity and improvise accordingly. Okay, so that's how you do your mounts. So if you like the video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would be uploading every week. So see you soon in the next video. Ride safe, keep safe. Bye.